This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Mark Magnuson.
Hello and welcome into Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today is Tuesday, July 18th, 2023, and we're so glad you could join us for today's show. In today's episode, I will speak with Dan English. He is the General Manager of FBN Finance. We're going to talk about a new land evaluation tool from FBN. It's called AcreVision. We'll also have a check of the ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day, we are joined by Robin Schmahl of agmarket.net for our closing market analysis. Robin, we have a lot of news happening right now all over the world that is impacting the ag markets. What's taking place on the grain side of the markets today?
Well, I think most of what we really saw that impacted the market initially was the attack on the Odessa port in the Black Sea, and that really started supporting some corn and wheat market. Now, that supported it to a certain degree, in my opinion. Probably the more of the support on top of that was the forecast or the weather that's showing the cooler weather to the weekend, and then supposed to get hot and dry in the Corn Belt for a period of another 5 to 7 days, which seems to have really got more of the traders buying interest going as we moved to the later morning, because that started pushing corn up over 30 cents. It's kind of interesting because we did have the increase in crop conditions from the previous week, 2% higher on corn to 57% good to excellent, 4% on soybeans to 55 good to excellent, and spring wheat was up 4% to 51 good to excellent. So that was a little bit, if you wanted to say, not bearish, but showing that we are improving from the previous rains we had. But now all of a sudden the focus has seemed to shift over to more hot and dry, and some of it was projected that July is going to be the driest since 2014 on the overall for July. So crops have been going along okay, but there hasn't been a lot of replenishing of subsoil moisture. And the attack on the Odessa port, well, Odessa is a big corn terminal, but yesterday the ceasing of the Black Sea Initiative, as Russia didn't want to sign that to keep that corridor open, that really didn't seem to affect the market. That was more negative on the market, but this just seemed to garner the headlines a lot more. So that's what's really a combination of that stuff has really pushed into that market, got the traders bulled up, juices going, and really started pushing that market. Now, the NOPA June crush was for the month of June was at a 9-month low. So some of that stuff was somewhat negative to the market, but some of the world events taking place and the weather forecast has really got everybody kind of bulled up now. Whether that's going to be able to continue to hold as we move further through the weekend, the traders digest that, that we'll find out as we move, into tonight trading and into tomorrow.
And then, Robin, what took place on the livestock side of the markets?
Well, livestock, the live cattle actually moved to a new high close again today. The anticipation is there for stronger cash. Now, last week we talked about it, that feedlots and packers dug in. They really didn't do as much business as normally they would have. Even though on the lighter business last week, packers were still able to purchase 39% of cattle for deferred delivery. So they're kind of in the driver's seat, but yet the tighter cattle numbers, feedlots wanting to at least get steady money or higher, has really provided support under that market. So another new high close is really pushing that market closer and closer towards some projections previously of $200. Now, when we look at the April contract, that's pushing above 190. So we're not that far away from that. There's been no cash interest so far. The show lists are mixed for the week so far, but not any solid bids and offers were put out there. Now, boxed beef at midday, we were mixed. Choice was down 60 cents, select up 9 cents, so nothing really big there. And obviously, feeder cattle were lower as they trade that correlation relative to the strong corn price. On the hog side, I mean, there is uncertainty over Prop 12 and the Question 3 initiative, or Question 3, I should say, not initiative, Question 3 in Massachusetts. That was pushed back on a little bit of a delay again for a period of time as more stuff is going through, some of the litigation and some of the other implementation and all that kind of stuff. But there's uncertainty there, and that's kept some of these later contracts just under wraps. So today we were mixed with spread trading, putting pressure on the August, buying a little bit, or I'm sorry, the other way around, buying into the August, pressure on the October, December contracts. Cash at midday really wasn't again reported solidly, whether it was higher or lower. They just did report that the average price was at 104.36. Packer confidentiality just had some issues with putting out a solid number there. Cutouts were 41 cents higher at midday. So we didn't have a lot underneath the hog market, and that's why I think what increased the desire for more of the spread trading. But we do see some better demand in pork, in the pork complex, which should provide some support, we would think, but uncertainty still prevails.
And Robin, until anything else happens with the entire Prop 12 situation, we're going to be picking our way through those rules and regulations as far as the implementation is concerned. So you're right, there's going to be a lot of volatility there potentially until we get that all figured out. But Robin, thank you so much for joining us here today. What's the best way for our viewers to get in touch for more information?
They can call me directly at 877-256-3253 or go to the website, agmarket.net. The 844 number's there. They can call. Somebody will pick up and will help them.
He is Robin Schmahl from agmarket.net, our guest here today. Robin, thank you so much for the time. Have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
That was Robin Schmahl of agmarket.net. Let's turn our attention now to the closing numbers, courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart.
September corn is up 29.5 at 528 3/4. New crop December corn up 28.5 at 534.5. August soybeans up 8 even at 14.92 even. New crop November soybeans up 17 1/4 at 13.95 1/4. September soybean meal up $6.90 at 429.10. September soybean oil down 69 cents at 61.88. Chicago wheat up 16 3/4 at 690.5. Minneapolis wheat up 3/4 cent at 886.5. Kansas City hard red wheat up 12 1/4 at 832 1/4. December oats up 25 even at 446 1/4. On the Merc, August live cattle up $1.15 at 181.27. August feeder cattle down $1.25 at 248 even. July lean hogs up 37 cents at 102.35. July pork cutout up 39 cents at 112.32. And Class 3 milk up 3 cents at 13.86.
And that's been a check of the Ag Market recap here on Ag Matters PM. It's time now to take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. And when we come back, I will be joined by Dan English of Farmers Business Network. This is AMPM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today, I speak with Dan English of Farmers Business Network. We're going to talk about their new land evaluation tool. It is called AcreVision. Mark Magnuson for the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and I'm joined today by Dan English with Farmers Business Network. And Dan here today to tell us about a new product from Farmers Business Network, a new venture, something that's very exciting. It is called AcreVision. Dan, what is AcreVision? Why should our farmers here in Iowa be excited about it?
Yeah. So at FBN here, we're a farmers first company, and we had originally started out really helping farmers with the farming part of their operation. So deciding which seeds to pick, how much they should be paying for those, agronomic advice, and then of course our direct chemical and seed business. A couple years ago, we launched the finance business, and now we're stepping kind of even further back now with AcreVision to help farmers actually look at and evaluate different parcels of land. So whether they want to know what the cropping history was, what comparable sales in the area were, understanding the terrain and wetness, they can do all of that with AcreVision. And so it really is the first part of kind of what we're calling find, fund, and farm. We have the last two, and this AcreVision product helps us out with farmers finding land and evaluating if it's the right fit for their operation.
So Dan, when we're talking about AcreVision and this new ability for farmers to see everything out in front of them, is that kind of the story that they're able to get all of that information in one spot for a specific parcel of land that they're potentially interested in?
That's exactly right. And this is a free product for farmers. They're able to log on to our website, select parcels that they want to look at, view them either individually or in the aggregate, and understand, really how would I incorporate this into my operation? What would the potential crop mix look like? How would I be able to manage this? What would, how much should I think about paying for this? What would be a good deal? What would maybe not be such a good deal? And really start to evaluate where and how might this fit into their operation.
So Dan, what parcels are actually able to be viewed by AcreVision? Is it just parcels of land that are for sale? Is it parcels of land that have been sold recently? Parcels that are not for sale? How can you go about searching the different pieces of land?
Yep. So any parcel that's out there right now, they can look at in Iowa. And so if they want to see, if they want to evaluate their own parcels and see kind of, hey, this is what I'm seeing. I've noticed, a wet spot over here. What does that terrain look like? Stuff probably a lot of farmers are familiar with. But if they also want to see, hey, what were comparable sales like in my region for the last year? They can certainly do that too. Whereas maybe they're thinking, hey, I've always thought this parcel down the road seems strategic. I'd like to own it someday, and really start thinking through how would that fit into my operation? Is it really as good as it seems? I kind of get an idea by driving by. What's it like in the middle of the field? They can do all of that with AcreVision.
Dan, does a farmer then need to log into this program? Do they need to set up a profile? Is it available for anyone to use? How can you get involved with trying out AcreVision?
Yeah, so today anybody can just go to fbn.com and navigate their way to AcreVision. This is a tool for farmers, and it is free for farmers. Over time, we're going to be kind of adding some additional data points, which will require farmers to be authenticated with an FBN, basically for us to know that they are in fact a farmer and not an investor, or just kind of an outside looky-loo, but actually someone who's invested in the land and is actually farming it.
Dan, I know with Farmers Business Network, it seems like your company goes along with trying to find solutions for problems that are already existing for farmers. Was this something that farmers brought to you and your team and the rest of the folks at FBN, or was this something that you guys observed as maybe an area that was missing and something that could be filled in by FBN?
Yeah, so when we talk to farmers, and a stat that's like relatively unsurprising, but 93% of farmers are doing research on land before they actually go out and buy it. And I think with everything at FBN here, we're trying to replace, sometimes there's a lot of ways you could do that in the past. You could talk to the person who'd farmed it before, maybe you talk to some neighbors. If it's a parcel further away, you might have to be totally reliant on the broker who's selling the land or the auction. Whereas here you can actually get objective data-driven information about what that parcel is like. And so just upgrading the experience for farmers to supplement any existing research that they're doing when they're looking at a piece of land.
Dan, how does that information gathering, that data gathering process work for a piece of land? Because as we know, farmers like to be very private when it comes to what they are working on and their own land and those types of things. They kind of play their cards close to their vest oftentimes. So how do you get that fine line of trying to find out about as much about a piece of land, but also, having that sense of privacy as well for the farmer?
Yeah, absolutely. So like everything we do here at FBN, any private data that we collect is aggregated and anonymized, so folks can't see that. Most of the data that they're going to be looking at here are from various public data sets that we've pieced together. And so it probably wouldn't be anything that, if you went down to the local county courthouse or something like that, this is the type of data that you'd find. But instead, you can just do it, right on your mobile phone or on your desktop computer.
Dan, has AcreVision been operational at all yet? Have farmers been able to use it? Have you had any early success stories that you've heard yet?
Yeah, so we've seen a bunch of folks pick it up last week after our big launch. And so a lot of good engagement with the tool. People are spending, a pretty substantial amount of time on there actually looking at different parcels, investigating kind of where they want to go. And as we expect that, we continue to get the word out there, that's only going to continue to grow further.
And is this a tool has there been a comparable tool that has been available for farmers, Dan, or is this a breakthrough that's something completely new for farmers to be able to utilize?
Yeah, so there are a lot of good tools out there that kind of offer a similar set of offerings to what we have today in the market. The big difference is that this is a free tool and it's built specifically for farmers. And so this isn't, focused on kind of what's my return on investment going to be or something like that. If you're an investor, this is really focused on how would you be able to farm this land and incorporate it into your operation. And so this is the best tool that's built for farmers. It's a free tool, and we think it's a great offering. We're going to continue to be rolling out new features over the coming months. And some of those pieces will be really, really unique in the market. Some of the stuff that we have today, comparisons to county level terrain, county level cropping history, things like that are also unique and different for our tool.
And Dan, as we wrap up here today, is there anything else you'd like to let our listeners, our viewers know about when it comes to AcreVision and how it can help out Iowa farmers?
Well, like I said, this is really a way to kind of supplement the process that farmers are already going through as they research a piece of land. And so I would say don't just take the broker's word for it or the auctioneer's word for it. Really get the data-driven approach to what's been happening on that parcel and how it would fit into your operation. And I think it'll be a great addition to the tool set for all the farmers there in Iowa.
FBN giving farmers the chance to have that data in their hands and make it work for them with AcreVision. He is Dan English of Farmers Business Network joining us here today. Dan, thank you so much for the time and exciting times with AcreVision. Best of luck with the rollout.
Thanks a lot.
And that was Dan English with FBN. Let's turn our attention now to the Ag Weather Outlook. Sunshine and blue skies in central Iowa today. We get the chance to enjoy it because the smoke from the Canadian wildfires has moved on out of the area, and it has provided a nice summer day for us here today. Are some scattered thunderstorm chances, so make sure and check with your local Iowa agribusiness affiliate to find out about the weather local to you as well. And then tonight we have calm conditions. It is going to be a little bit on the cooler side as we look to tomorrow's forecast. Another nice sunny day, and again, some slight chances for thunderstorms in isolated areas. So let's turn our attention now to the National Weather Service and what's in store for the next 24 hours.
As you can see from the National Weather Service, mostly sunny with scattered chances for showers and thunderstorms today. Highs expected 77 to 80 degrees. Partly cloudy to mostly clear skies tonight as we will cool off just a little bit. Low temperatures expected 58 to 64. For Wednesday, mostly sunny with isolated chances for thunderstorms, highs 82 to 86. And now for our affiliate weather map for tomorrow. Cherokee, partly sunny, then a chance of thunderstorms, high around 82. Shenandoah, mostly cloudy, a high around 84. Des Moines, mostly sunny, high of 85 for Wednesday. Albia, mostly sunny, then a slight chance of thunderstorms, high around 86. Waterloo, mostly sunny with a high of 85. And Clinton, mostly sunny, high around 85.
For a more detailed forecast in your part of the state, make sure and check with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And that's been a check of the Ag Weather Outlook. That also brings us to the end of this episode of Ag Matters PM. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And you can find our video content and previous episodes of AMPM on our YouTube channel. And don't forget our free twice daily market podcast, which are found on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Mark Magnuson. On behalf of Riley Smith and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.